Hi folks, welcome to your mwis Friday Planner in association with Ellis Brigham. Now we do have a generally good weekend in store. We've got high pressure temporarily across the country. That will give way though into early next week as west or southwesterly winds then dominate and some low pressure systems coming through which will bring some spells of wind, rain and showers. Now, I'll start by showing you the accumulating rainfall story over the week ahead from one of the forecast models. We've got the colour coding at the bottom giving you the values in millimetres. That's the situation through the current time through Friday and the rain that's been coming through today. That will then clear southeastwards, and it's really a dry story through the weekend, barring the odd shower or a few spits and spots, maybe just grazing west and northwest Scotland on Sunday. As we head onwards into the new week, though, rain will start to pile in across western Scotland, and those totals starting to increase then, and that rain will fall elsewhere as we go through the middle of the week as well, in either some periods of rain or some showers that come in quite frequently. Western mountains always most prone to those more constant, heavier falls of rain at times. Some eastern areas will see showers and patchier rain, lower rainfall totals toward the Cairngorms and the eastern side of the Pennines, but expect rain almost anywhere at times through the week ahead. The wettest of the conditions, the greatest of totals, focused on western Scotland, and by the end of the week, some spots on southwestern facing upslopes could be getting on for 100 millimetres of rain. So quite a wet outlook for the week ahead. Let's have a look at the weekend charts. This is Saturday and the frontal system responsible for Friday's rain has moved away into France and the Low Countries. The dregs of areas of cloud around in the morning, some of that shrouding the hills, particularly in more eastern regions where the drift is coming in off the North Sea. Otherwise, a fair amount of sunshine around, some fair weather cloud building through the day, and that may just be enough to produce an odd isolated light shower, but most places will stay dry. Light winds overall as well across the country. I suspect by the time we get through into the afternoon there is a fair amount of cloud cover, and that's shown on this chart by the whiter colours, the thicker white colours indicating the greater extent of cloud, and the model just indicating one or two specks of showers that form during the afternoon. The greatest risk, I think, for the central southern highlands, the southern uplands and around the North Pennines. Any showers that form will drift around slowly, but you'll be unlucky generally to catch them. Coastal fringes will do very well, I suspect, through the afternoon for some sunshine, with light sea breezes, typically sunniest around the coasts, cloudier further inland. There's high cloud building over Ireland, as that's just ahead of some fronts coming in from the Atlantic. Now that will expand in as we go overnight into Sunday, so a fair amount of high cloud in the story for Sunday. Many of the hills and mountains, though, are still in the clear. Western Scotland, with some rain and drizzle coming on, may start to get shrouded in some low cloud around the coast, particularly around Skye and Mull. Further eastwards, though, essentially a dry story, cloud broadly above the hills, and some sunshine coming through for England and Wales, and it stays dry throughout Sunday here. There's the map for Sunday, high pressure centred just to the east of us. We've got a strengthening breeze from the south, and that particularly windy around the west coast of Scotland. Some of the cooling ridges could be gusting at gale force at times. Fronts grazing the northwest, then producing a little bit of rain in places, not generally amounting to a great deal. Temperatures are generally on the mild side from overnight and into the daytime. Fronts are lurking over the Atlantic, and those will start to sweep in further as we head onwards into Monday. So high pressure has moved further east, and those fronts have encroached in, really just running along in a conveyor belt on a southwesterly flow through Monday, and that is likely to bring some pretty wet conditions to much of western Scotland. Patchier rain further eastwards into the Cairngorms, but will come through at times, and also only patchy rain for southwest Scotland, the lakes and West Wales. A bit of drizzle coming in from time to time here, with some low cloud running onto those hills being dragged in off the Irish Sea. Brighter conditions toward the Pennines and the Peak District, and may well stay dry much of the day. A rather windy picture then, gale force in places across the higher mountains. Now, temperatures will have been on the mild side through Monday, but will drop a bit cooler as we head onwards into the middle of the week. A cold front passing southeastwards. We're still under a west by southwesterly wind, but the air has come around a bit more off the North Atlantic, so it's that cooler air mass that is around close to freezing point on the very highest tops in the Highlands around the Ben Nevis range. And showers will come in from the Atlantic. Those could be quite frequent, emerging at times into some longer spells of rain for western Scotland. The odd heavy showery burst with some hail, bit of sleet or even wet snow on those highest mountains at times possible. Drier again the further east that you go, but a few showers will pop up during the daytime, and it stays rather blustery, maybe touching gale force at times over the top, so not particularly pleasant. That rather unsettled and poor story on the mountains continues into Wednesday then. Staying windy across many areas, again gale force on the top, so some rather difficult conditions and feeling distinctly chilly where you're exposed, so do be aware of that, and frequent rain coming in across western Scotland. Again, showery elsewhere, and again one or two of these showers could be on the heavy side, driest and brightest the further east that you go. Looking at the big picture as we go into the second half of the week, and low pressure stays just to the north of us, it's a rather poor, unsettled story than is most likely across many places. It's one to really consider the routes that you're doing to get something out of the day. The higher areas will be rather poor and difficult conditions at times, with the cool conditions, the wind and the rain. Heading towards the end of the week, and we still see some weather systems over the Atlantic, although a tendency for pressure to build a little bit, so showers may just break up for a time. Next weekend is not particularly clear-cut at this stage. The idea of maybe weather systems starting to skirt a little bit further northwards, so just some improvements and some warmer conditions coming back up from the southwest. Finally, looking further ahead, things are looking more optimistic. Cautious optimism at this stage. This is the indication from one of the forecast models as we go for the week as a whole, for the 16th to 23rd of May. It's the pressure pattern anomaly, and that shows higher pressure building across the country, and that would give fair and warmer conditions more extensively, and a much better prospect as we head beyond the middle of the month. So let's see how that develops for some better, even early summer-like conditions developing there. For the week ahead, the wind and the waterproofs will need to be close to hand, I suspect, for many places. Stay up to date with your local information every day on the mwis website. That is your Friday planner in association with Ellis Brigham. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.